Hey everybody, Jake Reichbart here. Today I'm going to share with you a lengthy lesson excerpt. So have your guitars ready and we're going to have some fun together arranging a song. Perhaps you've seen some of my many hundreds of solo guitar arrangements I have here on YouTube, and the inspiration for these arrangements is right here behind me, as you can see. I grew up with these vinyls, and I draw pretty much from any kind of style imaginable from the pop music of the past 100 years, everything from Glenn Miller to Van Halen, Alan Holdsworth to Motown, and pretty much anything in between. Beatles, I have perhaps 25 Beatles song arrangements, 20 Steely Dan song arrangements, same for Stevie Wonder, rock, hard rock, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, and of course tons and tons of classic jazz standards from the 40s and 50s, bebop, dance tunes, movie themes. And if you want to learn how to arrange any of these songs for solo guitar, I can teach you. Just like the excerpt that you're about to watch, which comes from a lesson that runs about 90 minutes, I have nearly 200 additional titles, and they are mostly song specific. I enjoy teaching through specific songs because I can show you hands-on how I approach arranging a song. What's nice about these lessons is that I don't just tell you, do this and you're done, but rather I'll take you through 3 or 4 or 5 different ways to play the same passage. I'll work with you on dynamics, on articulation, and 100 other things that you cannot just put to paper. As I mentioned, these lessons run approximately 90 minutes. The introduction, which runs usually 15 minutes, focuses on the right hand in rhythm, and in this introduction I go through my 3 pillars of rhythmic arranging, the first principle being melody and bass only, the second being rhythmic arpeggiation, and the third, of course, the down stroke that I play with my right hand fingernails to produce that backbeat that everybody asks me about. Nevertheless, I do have 2 main method lessons. The first one, how to arrange any song for solo guitar, running 2 hours, and also an introduction to fingerstyle guitar and solo guitar arranging, running 2 hours and 40 minutes. The information about these lessons, the cost, my full lesson list, as well as a link to the full performance of the song that we're working on today is below in the information. So expand the information, take a look, and let's get started. And now it is finally time to start with the actual arrangement. I start by trying to copy the famous bass line, but I do 2 additional things to try to keep the spirit of the original recording present. Well, first of all, the bass movement itself, the notes A on the 6th string, 5th fret, C, 5th string, 3rd fret, E, 5th string, 7th fret, back to C, and then D on the 5th string, 5th fret. I do 2 more things. And one thing is that very lightly with the thumb, I tap on the strings to create kind of a very light clicking sound to emphasize the 2 and 4, kind of a very small or a light version of what I mentioned in the introduction that I do with the fingernails that produces a bigger sense of backbeat. But this happens also here because in the original recording I hear a rhythm guitar playing very faintly in the background behind the bass. So something you might want to do, practice, so you can achieve the note just by plucking it, but you can also get the note while kind of hitting it a little bit harder and creating this kind of a clicking sound. In addition to that, when I get to the D, I also have my 3rd or 4th finger ready to hold down the notes A and D to play kind of a very faint D5 chord, which is again something that I kind of think that I hear in the original recording. And I kind of play it in a muted kind of way, try to bring in my hand with my palm. I kind of lay it gently on the bridge and create a muting effect. The second time when I play the D chord, I play it with a crescendo, which again is something that I think I hear on the recording, and that builds me up dynamically to start the melody in a stronger place. And then I proceed to play the 4 bass notes, which are the F sharp, G, G sharp, and A on the 6th string, frets 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I do them all with the first finger because when I get here, I need this finger to be in place to play my next movement. So I'll sum up the whole introduction. And we are now at the A minor chord where the melody starts. I maintain to a degree, maybe not 100% accurate or 100% all the way through, the bass movement from the introduction, but the main difference is that I shift the note C from the 5th string 3rd fret to the 6th string 8th fret. And the reason is that I need my first finger to be in place to play the entire movement. So I play now the A with my first finger and the C with my 3rd finger. This is a little bit of a stretch, so it'll take a little bit of getting used to, as well as the pinky needs to be playing a line here. So you have all these fingers in a little bit of an awkward stretch. It's not so much that it's a wide stretch, but each finger is kind of pointing in a different direction. So this may take a little bit of getting used to. So go slow on this. So again, the rhythm on the A minor chord is the same as the introduction, while playing the melody, which is, as best I interpret it, A, G, A, G, A, G, starting on the second beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the notes are on the 1st string, 5th fret, 2nd string, 8th fret. And just to throw in an extra challenge here, which is the backbeat, there's something that you can do to kind of practice this. If I was normally just going to play this normally with a normal pluck, I would just kind of pull them up and down, or up with fingers 1 and 2. But I actually am going for this sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So every time the 2 and 4 come down, I have to play this with a downstroke. So that takes a little bit of getting used to, so maybe this can be an exercise. And when I hit that A note, I'm just doing it just with my one finger, with the first finger. But notice how much of a percussive sound it gets just by doing that. So putting it all together, and with the backbeat, for the next movement, I slide the entire fingering up, and I immediately grab with my 3rd finger the D on the 6th string 10th fret,